Okay, I'm back. I'm not just going on my phone. I'm not sure what's going on with this recording device. I don't know. It's storming, so I don't know. But anyway, really quickly, just the subject of this is about income inequality, and about how this is my problem with capitalism. Okay, when you've got this kind of an income gap where you've got billionaires out there who are able to spend all this money on anything they want in houses that are too big that they don't use, that they don't need, and they turn around and sell for an ungodly amount of money. While at the same time, you've got families and children and citizens living in their cars because the housing is too much. And like I was saying before I got cut off last time, locally, you can get a three-bedroom house for $900, but that's no utilities. That's just straight up $900 rent. The wages around here don't support that. So if you don't go in with somebody else, you don't live with, then you can't afford that. And like apartments around here are $500-600 rent with no utilities. So for around here, that's a big deal because the wages just aren't, and that's a problem. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is. I don't have the solution. If I did, well, that'd be great. I'd tell everybody in the world what the answer was, and we'd get it straightened out. But I don't know. I just that gets me going when I see that kind of income inequality gap, and people tell me, well, it's that's capitalism, and the conservative ideal is that, well, these people, they made their money to build that house. And the people who live in their car, well, they didn't, and it's all personal responsibility. It's all personal choices. And, you can't blame somebody for being rich. And I'm not necessarily blaming them, but you can't blame somebody for being poor either. That's always my argument, and my counter argument on that one is you can't blame somebody for being poor either, because how much of it is circumstance? So much of it is circumstance. The people who make that money, a lot of times, they get a few breaks along the way. And all I'm saying is if you have that much money, don't forget where you came from, and maybe, just maybe, you need to give a little bit of it back to other people so that maybe they can get a break along the way, because that's what they're waiting on. They don't it's not they're looking for a handout. They're not looking for a handout. They're not looking for a handout. They're just looking for a little tiny push up the slope, Just they need a little bit of momentum to get up that hill, because they're a little bit downtrodden and they're down and up, and they just need a little bit of push. They don't want a handout. They don't want free stuff. They don't want. Now, look, there are people that want free stuff. There are people who want handouts. I'm not saying that. But the idea that we're going to generalize and say that all people who are poor are choosing to be poor because of bad money management, or because of wasting all their money on alcohol or drugs, or because it's all just choices, right? And the people who have money made the right choices, and they deserve everything. Well, I think a lot of I think a lot of it is fortune along the way that you got to get. And some people just circumstances. Some of us are victims of circumstance. Some of us are, I'm not really sure what the word is. Some of us are not victims of circumstances. The circumstances just kind of work in our favor. And all I'm saying is that I think what I'm always about is fairness. When it isn't fair for people to live in their car because they have had some bad circumstances arise that they just can't get out of, and they just need someone to throw them a little bit of a life preserver. That's it. Not as a handout or anything like that. Just they need a little bit of assistance, man. That's it. Like I said, I don't like the capitalism we have right now. Like pure capitalism, I'm okay with that. That works for me. But the problem is the kind of capitalism we have right now in this country is creating income gaps like this, and that's a problem. And I'm not saying I'm socialist either. Socialism has so many flaws and problems on its own. So, and this is not even what this is about right now. What it's really about is I'm not telling people they can't have money, and that they didn't earn what they got. And I don't know if they deserve it or not. I don't know well enough to tell you that. I'm not gonna judge every rich person by saying they didn't deserve it and they elected. Because again, that's a generalization. I don't know, but don't just. I can't stand when people just think that people are poor because they choose to be poor, or that they're living in that car because they choose to, or because that's the life they chose with no personal responsibility or whatever. And I don't know what the answer is, like I said, but we've got a problem. Our system is broken. Our country is broken when we've got people living rich up there on the hill in a house that's almost $500,000, and then we got people on the other side of the hill that are literally sleeping in their car and living out of their car. And I mean, I read at that LA Times article I saw the statistics, and apparently there's 20,000 people in the area of Los Angeles. It's on by itself that live in their cars that do not have houses. How is that acceptable? How can any of us, whether you're liberal, conservative, apolitical, whatever, how can we sit here and allow that and say that's okay? And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is, but that's just not acceptable to me. And this is when I really get worked up and I'm like, I gotta do something. I don't know what I can do. Besides right now putting this out here and lending my voice and maybe getting people aware of it. But I mean, I want to be an advocate for these people. So